Hello friends. Today I'm going to talk about the autopilot altitude control of this beautiful small business jet, the Cirrus Vision, and there are many confusions for the altitude control of this jet. However, it has simple avionics. Welcome to Garmin 1000. We are going to talk about this panel here, the autopilot, especially the altitude side. We set the altitude, we take off, engage the autopilot, nothing happens. Why? And this is the thing that I'm going to talk about it. So let's get our aircraft configured for a takeoff. We are already on a runway 33, as you can see. So let's get into it. We start the airplane, battery 1, battery 2, Gen 1, Gen 2, all the lights,
23.9, we're slowing to 180.
And we have
Fire. Fire.
all the
Fire.
emergency sounds
Fire.
going on
Fire.
in the cockpit.
Fire.
So although we don't need the
Stop.
navigation lights and all those, but we can switch on everything here. Alright, now come to the panel. We can set the heading, we set the altitude, but first to set the altitude we go to the panel, we set the yaw damper. I'm clicking it twice because you see the YD in the middle. Okay, now first we press the altitude button, ALT, on the right side,
Altitude.
you see, and then we set the heading like this, and the flight director, most important thing, the flight director, which will give autopilot the vectors for the automated flight. Alright, let's set the flap. I do it like this. We set the now we set the altitude. You see, first we press the altitude button. This is the most foremost thing that we do, and then we can set the altitude from here, or we can go like this on the main primary flight display, and we do like this. You see, altitude is changing. Here is change the altitude. We're going to 3,000 feet, or we're going to about 2,500, or more or less a little bit more. Alright, we set everything now, and now why it doesn't change when we push the autopilot button? It's because we're going to use the VS speed. Okay, it is the vertical speed. So in this video I'm going to talk about the vertical speed. I made a previous video but there was no sound in it, so this time I'm going to tell you by pressing this button like this. We see a change here. We see a VS vertical speed like this. Here you see the VS, and it is 0 feet per minute. What does it tell us? It means that as soon as we switch on the autopilot, the plane will level out and will not climb. We need to climb to about 28 or 2,800 feet. So we give it a range for it, how much feet per minute it's going to go, or pull its nose upwards so that it will climb gracefully. So we go back on the panel, and you see that vertical rolling button. It says DN down, nose down means nose down, or UP up means UP up means nose up. So we're going to nose it up. We're going to click it and pull our thumb downwards. And how much feet per minute it has? 2300 is a lot of feet per minute. We're going to reduce it a little bit more. So we slide it upwards. 1500 feet is the thing that we need. Alright, we climb a little bit more higher. So we give it 3000 feet. Now we see altitude set here. That's the thing that I don't like about XPlane, that it has this jerky thing. Always you fly. I know XPlane has good cockpit. It has a very good interactive cockpit. You don't get to interact with the cockpit in other flight simulators like the Infinite or the Real Flight, but in XPlane you can push or pull or play with the buttons of the cockpit. It's very good, but you get this thing, this strange thing that I don't like about the XPlane. I think XPlane ought to figure it out. So as you can see, altitude, you see that difficulty that I get here. So altitude S means altitude set. So now we take off, but first we need to start our engine. We go to the left side, we roll this button, press this engine start button, and see here engine is, fuel is about 60, flaps is about 10, the trim is set upwards.
Picture left 10 Alpha, 49, Delta 31.
N1, N2, when they're going to N2, when the N2 is going to reach the green area, and we're set to go. So in this flight I'm not going to put any navigation in this. We're just going to fly in the heading mode and fly by map like this. And further I will give you an idea how to climb to an altitude or descend to an altitude. Okay, so if you press altitude button here, the parameters that we give here will be lost. So altitude set, when this white altitude set appears, so it will set the altitude to 3000 and will during flight and will climb to about 1500. So you need to press the altitude button first, and then you need to roll the knob for altitude, and then you have to press it again to get this white altitude S button in this row, autopilot row. This is the autopilot row. Now we are in the roll mode right now. Autopilot is not engaged, and we have flight director and yaw damper engaged, and the vertical speed of about 1500 climb, and altitude is set. It will stop climbing, and this 1500 will change to the 3000 altitude parameter, and plane will level off. Alright, I think the plane is set for takeoff. We go down. Alright, now we are green. Now we can also set our altitude like this. Autopilot, I'm sorry, like this. So we'll now give it half. And we'll disengage the brakes, full throttle, take off roll, first set. Maintain the center line. 70, V1, 90, we pull back up, take off, we rotate, V2, set, gear up, reduce the thrust a little bit, engage the autopilot. Okay, now autopilot engaged.
Autopilot.
Sorry, my settings gone wrong. I press the VS button again and give it up.
Turn left heading 130. 130 to 17.
We are descending to minus 1600 feet per minute. We'll stop descending till we reached 3000. I'm sorry I messed up a little bit. The autopilot wasn't pushed, but I have given it the altitude again, set the altitude again for 3000 and vertical speed to minus 1600. Let's see if it does its work. We are actually going like this out of the VOR of TCM. We're going to turn it a little bit right side. We're going to turn it right side. Go back into the VOR. Now, as this blue reaches, it's not reaching at all. We are still in the zone. We are in the VOR of KTCM. Now, as soon as this this blue carrot reaches
Contact tower 119.1.
its target, the center point, the autopilot sound will come and the plane will level off to 3000 feet, and 3000 velocity will go away and the altitude set of 3000 will go into the altitude, will autopilot of the altitude. So now we have altitude 3000 feet. So for example, if we want to move to 4000 feet, we'll give it, we'll roll up like this, 4000 feet. So we climb to 4000 feet and we press the velocity VS, vertical speed button, and give it a target of about 1200 feet. Now the plane will start climbing again to about 1200 feet per minute. As soon as this blue carrot reaches the center, the sound will come for altitude, and we are on the intersection of KTCM and KSCA VORs.
Altitude.
So you see, you heard the sound.
Approach United 8 Heavy, leveling 190.
We are now 4000 feet and leveled out. Oh, I just forgot the flaps. So I'm going to reduce the flaps. We are now flying at 4000 feet.
Thank you very much for the early current answer. Appreciate it. Maintain that below 1000. Quality healthy. Have a good day. Just for 1990, the Hills Press Club. Your charge is bringing up Gulf 3 Bay, Southeast South. Once you're showing yourself, thank you very much.
Now we want to go back to 3000. We reduce our altitude to 3000.
Head on Bravo and ground point on it.
Now we are going back to 3000, so we again set the altitude 3000 and we press the VS, vertical speed button, and give it down minus 1400 feet of descent. Now we are going back to 3000. As soon as the blue carrot reaches the center of the altitude moving strip, the plane will level out at 3000 and the altitude will set in the autopilot for 3000 feet. Right where we are, KESA
Altitude.
airport. So now we are at 3000. There is the airport. You see the lights. Right. And now we are a little bit left in the heading mode. There's the airport. There's the airport. set our altitude, and we'll go back again and try another takeoff. What do you say? Alright, we'll go back again to KTCM this time. On runway 34. Runway 34.
Autopilot.
We are on runway 34 again. We are going to take off from runway 34 again. Set our autopilot. We set the flaps first. See, your damper is engaged. We're going to switch on everything here. Even though we don't need pitot tube heat, but we're gonna switch it up. And what about the altitude? Alright, we set the altitude to 0 by this. We set it like this. We are at 320 feet already. Set the air conditioning, it's quite hot in here. Alright, we set the altitude. Pressing the altitude. We set the heading. Set the altitude 3,400. Alright. We press the heading. We got the heading. We got the flight director. And now we are going to set the vertical speed. Pressing the VS button, and we give it a target 1,000 feet per minute, 1,500 feet per minute, 1,600 feet per minute looks fine. Engine is running. Engine is the green zone. Alright, we're going to give it full takeoff thrust. Brakes off. We're going up. Positive climb, gear up. Flaps up. Climbing. Now autopilot engaged. Now we are climbing. Heading is set 344. Climbing at about 1,600 feet per minute. Altitude set. When it's going to reach 3,400, it's going to level off here. Reduce the thrust a little bit. And we have this nice view of the jet climbing. Nice, we are climbing. There we are. KTCM. Little bit right, plane in the map, in the multifunction display, our plane will turn towards the right. So many points. Just a little bit more. Altitude reached. Leveling off at 3,400. And here we go. The lights are up, the navigation lights, the beacon lights, everything is up. So today in this video I have talked about the vertical speed control of the autopilot. I hope this video is very informative for you because there are lots of confusions about the vertical speed. Sometimes the plane won't climb when you set the altitude. Now you know that you need to press the altitude button and slide it to the target altitude you want, and then set the climb rate by pressing the vertical speed button VS and setting it upwards to about 1600 or 600, 500, whatever rate of climb you want, and the plane will reach its altitude and will give it a call, and as you see the altitude is taking place of the vertical speed, and now it is 3400. In the green and the magenta, they are the same figures. So thanks for your view of my video. Please subscribe.
Thank you very much for the